I'd like to walk through the process of planning a PSA from using the PSA planning worksheet that's available online and linked in comments below to doing some rough draft work and then finally combining the elements in a graphic tool, in this case Photoshop, to create a finished piece. So for our work, it really starts with the PSA planning worksheet where you identify the focus of your PSA, who's your audience, what do you want them to think or feel after viewing the PSA, what do you want them to learn, and what action do you want them to take. I've already completed it, and here are my sample responses for the PSA that we'll work on together right now. So the focus of my PSA is right here. National Bike to School Day is coming up May 7th. I want students to ride their bikes on that day, and my call to action is choose freedom, ride a bike. So the target audience, in my case, students who travel to school by car, either as a driver or a passenger. I want to get them out of their cars. What do I want them to think or feel after viewing the PSA? That riding in a car is equal to being trapped in traffic. Riding a bike is freedom. Now pay attention to that because the visuals that I select will be paramount in delivering that message. What do I want them to learn? Again, Bike to School Day, 5/7/2014. There are resources to help them, but bottom line, choose freedom, ride a bike. And my action would be to ride their bike to school on Bike to School Day or visit the website for more information and resources. So how do we go about this? Let me switch to Photoshop. And really, as I think about this, remember I said I want them to feel like being in a car is like being trapped, riding their bike is freedom. So I feel like I want some sort of comparison to happen. So I really feel like I want this to be a split with some kind of traffic image over here. You're looking at the backs of cars. That's the back of a car. Come on, people, stay with me. And maybe the view through the windshield, and up ahead there are just more and more cars. And you know, when anybody thinks of traffic, you know what you've got to have. You've got to have some red lights showing. So I definitely want some red light action so that people are just seeing, oh, they're seeing red. So that's that side of the equation. What do I want on the other side? I want people to have peace, and I want them to have the freedom of that bike ride. You know, that's what I'm looking for right there. So we're going to switch to the other side for a moment. And here I really feel like what's important is to have an open road. You know what I mean? Traffic free. Maybe a little bit of the bike handlebar in the view. So I've got those two elements. There's our open road. Got to incorporate some text somehow. So I feel like text is going to live in two places. Big tagline at the top, and then some explanatory text as well as a way to get more information at the bottom. So let's take a look and see how it came together in Photoshop. So what I started with, it started with the pictures, no surprise. So I've got a shot in traffic, out the windshield. That's the view you get. There's my red lights. The trees overhead make it feel claustrophobic and closing in. I'm trapped in my car. The freedom of the open bike lane. What lies ahead is freedom and open. So I got those two, and from that point it was really looking to add in what else I want to show. So which view would you choose? For those of you Photoshop users, you'll notice to make this pop a little bit, I gave it a somewhat subtle outer glow so that it could stand out against a somewhat complex background. And then I have more detail down here. I looked at this one, and again, because of the varied background below, I decided to drop in a black background there to make that still easy to read. You can still see part of the bike handlebar. It's all very identifiable. The image has it clearly that we're in a bike lane, so life is good there. And now just a few more bits. I added a QR code that goes to the Safe Routes to Schools website. You can see down below, I've given my big tagline, choose freedom, ride a bike, and then in smaller font, beat traffic, save money, bring a friend, hear the birds, breathe, get healthy, be free. National Bike to School is May 7th. Great. So we have all that information there. The last thing I did, watch closely, see if you can see it. Look on the traffic side, that's my clue. I turned the person's license plate into the word trapped. So from concept, where I followed my guidelines, switch back to that for a moment, to then a rough draft, and I could have just as easily done this on paper, and then gathered my elements and went for the final product. That's some of the things you can employ in putting together a visual PSA.